And then I'm pressing record. Okay, so welcome everyone to our Saturday morning Flow and Reflect class. Lovely to see you all and lovely to see the sunshine. So we will start lying down, so you can come to lie on your back. You could either have the soles of the feet on the mat, the knees bent or the legs long. So depending on how the lower back is feeling, sometimes it's nice to bend the knees just to really allow the lower back to lengthen. So check in with where you would like to be. And then just maybe soften the shoulders down away from the head a little. Draw the chin slightly towards the chest. Take a few longer, deeper breaths. And just begin to transition into this space. So whatever you've been doing this morning, just beginning to let that go. And feel yourself connecting down into the earth. So really get a sense of the weight of the head, the weight of the shoulders and the arms, the weight of the back of the body, the pelvis, the buttocks, the legs and the feet. So that you can have the intention of just being here, being present with this connection with the earth, and letting yourself just have this time here. So kind of reminding yourself perhaps that this is where you need to be right now. You know, we can have so many lots of different things that we need to get done, but just allowing yourself this time and this space for you, knowing that it will have that ripple effect around you once you come away from your mat. Sometimes we need reminding of that, I think. And keeping a little bit of attention on the breath, and particularly the exhalation. So really feel and sense the exhale releasing from the body. And as you do that, perhaps allowing the body to be a little bit heavier, as if you could let go a bit further into the earth. And if and probably when you notice the mind thinking, just try to notice. This is what the mind does, and there's nothing wrong. So just notice thoughts the way that you would notice the physical body or the breath. And very gently bring your awareness back to breathing, back to the exhalation. And that sense of releasing into this space and into your body. So this week we've been exploring letting go of what might be standing in our way of creating that long-lasting and enduring happiness. So often we have these messages that maybe happiness is a destination that we'll arrive at when certain things happen. Perhaps it's when we get that perfect job, or we move to the perfect area, or into the perfect house. Perhaps we think there will be happiness when we're not so busy, when there's not so many things to do. or when we go on the perfect holiday. Or maybe we feel it'll be when the kids are older, when we have more time. Whatever it is, we've just been exploring what habits, what thinking habits we might be holding about our happiness. And as best we can, without judging, just noticing in the same way that we would our bodies, our breath. And as we move through our practice, just seeing if it's possible to begin to release and let go of those ideas so that we can create these new neural pathways within the brain that allow us to invite happiness in right now, right here, moment by moment happiness. Because if we look at it, what we find is the sense of striving for happiness, thinking that it's in the future, what it does is just take us out of the present moment. So simply by cultivating presence, we allow more happiness in. So perhaps let that be the focus of your practice today, just cultivating that presence and that awareness of what is, without judgment, with compassion. And then when you're ready, take some longer, deeper breaths. And then as you exhale, draw the knees into the chest. Have a little rock side to side. And then maybe circling through the knees, through the hips, beginning to wake the body. And then another big inhale to draw the knees in. And as you exhale, bring the soles of the feet onto the mat with the feet hip distance. So we're going to do the pelvic tilts into the core. So you're bringing soles of the feet onto the mat. So as you inhale, allow the belly to rise, allow the pelvis to tilt away from you. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in and tilt the pelvis towards you. So they're really quite subtle movements. You're not going to lift the hips or the buttocks. So it's just a little inhale, the belly rises. Maybe there's like a little bit of a back bend there. And then as you exhale, draw belly in. So really feeling that you're connecting lower back into the earth. So do that a couple of times. And as you do that, just see if you can connect down from the lower rib cage all the way down to the pelvic floor, or even all the way up. So maybe from the pelvic floor, you'll sense it almost like a zip all the way up to just below the rib cage. See how you feel it. And all we're trying to do here is just make that connection into the abdominal area. It's quite subtle. Just exploring that, see how it feels. And then we'll layer on this, but you're always welcome to just stay there with that movement. But you could bring the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers, allow the head to rest into the hands. And then as you inhale, just allow the belly to rise. And then as you exhale, lifting the head, drawing the belly in. And it doesn't need to be much of a lift into the head, just coming up to the top there. And then as you inhale, the head comes back down, the belly rises, that little back bend. And then as you exhale, lifting head. So the knees are staying over the hips. Inhale, the head comes back down, the belly rises. And take your time. So there might even be like a little pause at the top. And you might get that little quiver in the belly area. That's kind of what we're looking for, because it really means that we're kind of connecting into that area. And if you can, keep some space between chin and chest. So they often say it's like keeping an apple between the chin and the chest. So see if that helps, so that you're not creating tension in the neck. Keep the head soft, basically, so the head is kind of resting into the hands. And then the next time that you come up, you could release that right hand and reach over to the left side. So it becomes a little bit of a twist as well as that squeeze into the core. And then as you inhale, the hand comes back behind the head, you release down. And then as you exhale, you draw in, lower back comes to the mat, and you lift the left hand to the right. And there's that squeeze in again. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, right hand to the left, squeezing in. And don't feel like you've got to rush through these as quick as you can to get them done. Try and go slow. We want to make that connection into the abdomen. Maybe do one more either side, and then draw the knees into the chest. So right hand to left, left hand to right, and then draw the knees in. Have a little rock side to side. And then take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the soles of the feet onto the mat, but with the knees wide, not the knees wide, the feet wider than the hips. So take an inhale there, and then as you exhale, allow the knees to come over to the right side, so they just drop down. So there's a stretch along the right side. And you could bring the hands, the arms into cactus arms or over the head, or you could bring the left ankle on the right knee, so that you're anchoring down that right knee. Couple of breaths there. And then as you inhale, come back to the center. So just check that the soles of the feet are wider than the hips. They're down onto the mat. Take an inhale, the feet stay on the mat, and then as you exhale, bring the knees to the other side. So the feet don't move. Yeah. So it's like almost like starting to get along the side of the body rather than a kind of normal twist. Few deep breaths. Yeah, maybe anchoring that knee with the foot. So the lower foot coming onto the top of the knee. And then take an inhale, come back to the center. Draw the knees back in. And then take the hands to the backs of the thighs to rock and roll on the length of the spine. Maybe a couple of times. And then all the way up and release over into your tabletop. So hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. Spread the fingertips, and as you inhale, tuck the toes, allow the belly to drop, gaze up. And then as you exhale, untuck the toes, round through the spine, chin to chest. So be aware of that kind of pelvic movement as well. So it's kind of similar but more exaggerated as you start to move into your cat-cow. But you want to see if you can still make that connection into the core. So imagine it maybe from the very pelvic floor, very base of the spine, all the way up to the lower ribs. Or maybe it feels better from the lower ribs down to the pelvic floor. So just explore that for yourself. And then the next time that you exhale, you might press the feet into the mat and lift the knees just an inch or so off the mat. So you can just kind of maybe feel into the core a little bit more there. And then as you inhale, the knees come back down, the toes tuck, the belly drops towards the earth, stretch through the front of the body. And then as you exhale, rounding through the spine, untuck the toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat and lift the knees. A couple of times like that, if that feels good and you kind of get a little bit more of a connection into the core. The knees are only coming like an inch off the mat, like a teeny weeny bit, just to engage the core. Yeah, lovely. And then the next time that you exhale, complete that round. Release the knees, sit back to your child's pose. Keep that left hand reaching forward and bring the right hand underneath. And then see if you can get that right shoulder to sink down towards the earth, maybe the side of the head. And maybe you could sit back a little bit further towards the heels. Might depend what's happening in that shoulder. If you need to keep the hips lifted, then do. It's just that little squeeze into the shoulder and the upper arm. And then as you inhale, come back to your tabletop. And then as you exhale, sit back to your child's pose and bring the left hand underneath the right. Shoulder down, Perhaps the side of the head down. And then as you inhale, come back all the way to the top. Spread the fingertips, tuck the toes, and then come into your down dog. Have a little walk out through the legs, bending one knee, then the other, easing out any tension in the backs of the legs. But remember hip distance between the feet. If you have socks on, this was probably the point to take them off, unless they're the grippy ones. It just makes it too hard. So much easier with bare feet. And then you can pause in your down dog. Inhale to lift the pelvis. Release the head. Exhale to soften the heels towards the mat while keeping the pelvis lifted. Do that a couple of times. So you're inhaling to lift. Again, it's kind of subtle movements. Exhale to soften in. And with the hands, really feel that you're spreading the fingertips and you're pushing the hands away from one another to open up through the shoulders. And then when you're ready, walking the feet to the top of the mat into your forward fold. You could take opposite elbows, have a rock side to side, but release the head. So give the head a shake. Release the jaw. And if that feels quite deep into the backs of the legs, you could bring the elbows onto the knees. So know that there are options depending on where you want to take your practice today. So please be gentle with the body. Have that compassion for yourself right from the start. It is when you're in your physical practice as much as when you're in your meditation, when you're going about your day-to-day life. We want to cultivate that kindness wherever we can. Take another inhale here. And as you exhale, release the hands towards the earth. Bend into the knees a little, gaze forward. Take an inhale, reach the hands all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring the hands into the heart space. And just pausing there, really grounding down through the soles of the feet, reaching up through the crown of the head. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release the hands and the arms and give them a shake. So give the fingertips a shake, the arms a shake. Feel that this is a kind of physical release, a physical letting go. And then you might start to move the arms side to side, kind of letting the arms be really heavy. And you might then incorporate the breath as well. So particularly that exhalation, that releasing exhale. Maybe through the nose, maybe through the mouth. What kind of feels right? I think this is the release and letting go without really knowing what we're letting go of. And it kind of works on a very deep level. So even if you're not quite sure of the thinking habits around your happiness, just know that having that intention of releasing and letting go is often enough. And then slowly, slowly come back to the center and pause and just notice how the arms feel, the shoulders, the rest of the body. And then on your next inhale, reach the hands all the way up to the top, interlace the fingers, press the palms away. As you exhale, draw the belly in and draw the shoulders down. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, fold over to the right side, or any side. So I'm kind of mirroring for Zoom and not for you guys, so it's a bit confusing. Inhale, back to the top. And then exhale over to the other side. Just try to keep the feet grounded, the hips not moving too much. Inhale to come back to the top. And then as you exhale, fold from the hips, bend into the knees a little, all the way back down. Release the hands and head. Inhale for your half lift. So you might come onto the fingertips or the hands onto the shins. Gaze forward. And as you exhale, fold in over the legs. You might take the hands to the backs of the legs to draw yourself in, release the head. Do that a couple of times with your breath. Inhale to gaze forward. Exhale to fold in. Take your time. Inhale and exhale. And then plant the hands down and step back with the right leg. Drop the right knee. Make sure the left knee is over the ankle, and then inhale to sweep into your lunge. Reach to the sky, and then as you exhale, release the hands down. Step back to your down dog. Have a little wiggle out through the hips, through the legs. And then inhale to come forward into your plank or your tabletop. And remember that connection into the core. So the abdomen really drawing in here from the pelvic floor all the way up to the lower ribs. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, allow the crown of the head to come forward. Bring the belly down, but no back bending until you come all the way down. Hands under shoulders. Inhale to your cobra. And then exhale to travel back into your down dog. And then gazing forward, take an inhale, step the right leg forward, drop the left knee. Right knee over ankle at the front. Inhale to sweep to your low lunge. And then as you exhale, release the hands. Step forward with that left leg. Inhale to your half lift. And exhale to fold in over the legs. Bend through the knees. Inhale to come all the way up to the sky. And exhale to bring the hands into the heart space. Inhale to reach the hands up, interlace the fingers, press the palms away. As you exhale, draw belly in, draw lower ribs in. Take an inhale, and exhale, fold over to one side. Inhale to the top. Exhale to the other side, keeping the feet grounded. The hips don't really move too much. It's that side stretch we're looking for. Inhale to the top. And then as you exhale, bend through the knees. As you release all the way back down, release the hands and head. Inhale for your half lift. And as you exhale, plant the hands down, step back left leg, right knee over ankle. Inhale to your lunge. Reach to the sky. And then as you exhale, fold all the way back down, step to your down dog. Have a little wiggle out through the legs, through the hips. And then inhale to come forward into your plank or your tabletop. Remember that core engagement. Drop the knees where you need to. So make sure you know that there are options. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, knees, chest, chin, crown of the head coming forward a little. Remember, no back bending until you're all the way down. Inhale to your cobra. And then exhale to travel back. And then once you're back to your down dog, inhale, step the left leg forward. Drop the right knee, inhale to your lunge. And exhale all the way down. Stepping that right leg forward. Inhale to your half lift. And exhale, fold in over the legs. Bend through the knees, inhale to come all the way up to stand. And this time we'll just exhale, release all the way back down, but interlace the hands behind the body. Release the head. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another, but also away from the head. And just play with that a little bit. Maybe there's a little wiggle side to side, depending on how the shoulders are feeling. Maybe you lengthen the tailbone just a little towards the sky. Subtle movements. And then as you inhale, come into your half lift. So either hands on shins, fingertips on mat. Draw the shoulders away from the head. And then as you exhale, plant the hands down, step back right leg, drop the right knee. Inhale to your lunge. And this time we'll exhale, bring the hands to prayer at the heart center. Take an inhale to reach the hands to shoulder height, turning to the left. And then as you inhale, reach the hands up to the top, come back to the center. And as you exhale, reach the hands shoulder height, turning to the right. A little bit of a twist. Do that again. Inhale to reach up. And exhaling over to the left. So twist there. And then as you exhale, release the hands. Step back to down dog. Have a little wiggle out. And then as you inhale, step that right foot forward. Drop the left knee. Inhale to your low lunge. Exhale the hands to prayer. Inhale, reach the hands shoulder height, turning to the right, so twisting to the right. Inhale to reach the hands to the sky. You might follow the gaze to the thumbs, depending on the balance. Exhale over to the left. Inhale to the top. Exhale to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. So the belly is engaging each time you exhale here as well. Inhale to the top. And then as you exhale, hands to prayer, bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee and press the right hand into the left and moving into that twist. And then those subtle little movements. So as you inhale, you're lifting the heart. Crown of the head lifts. And as you exhale, press the right hand into the left to draw belly in and perhaps twist a little bit deeper. And then another big inhale. And as you exhale, release the hands. We're going to step forward with that left leg, so tuck the toes. Step forward, hands onto the shins, fingertips on mat to find the half lift. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to come all the way up. And exhale to fold again and releasing the hands behind. And interlace the fingers so the opposite little finger is outside. And it'll be the way that feels a little bit strange. Release the head. Roll the shoulders away from the head and also the shoulder blades towards one another. Again, kind of playing around with that a little. Sometimes I find when I got a little knot in the shoulders, this is a lovely one to kind of start to release it. But release the head. Head is heavy, so yeah, give it a shake. And release the jaw. Maybe move the mouth, have a little smile, blubber the lips, go. Let it release. And then on your next inhale, release the hands into your half lift. So either hands on shins, fingertips on mat. And as you exhale, step back with the left leg. Drop the knee, inhale to your lunge. And as you exhale, we'll bring the hands on the inside of that leg. And we'll allow that right foot to move out to the right a little bit more. So you've got a bit more space for the shoulders. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, have a little bit of a dip down. So bending into the elbows, allowing the elbows to go back towards the center line of the body rather than out to the side. And just seeing where might be possible there. But just notice if that right knee has a tendency to flop away. Draw it in. So drawing it into the shoulder. So it's that kind of opening into the hips that we're looking for. And then as you inhale, come back up onto the hands, tuck the left toes, and then walk the hands round so you're in between the two legs. And then turn the toes in so they're facing in towards one another and you're pressing down through the outsides of the feet. Come onto the fingertips, take an inhale to gaze forward. And exhaling, folding in. Do that a couple of times. Inhale. Feel that length through the spine, and as you exhale, feel that release. Inhale. And exhale. And you could do that a couple more times, or you could just pause. So notice what would be better for your body. Sometimes, particularly when I find my body's very tight, this movement actually allows me to release more. And sometimes pausing is just nice if you need a bit more stillness from pose to pose. So check in. What would be good? Either way, you're pressing down through the outsides of the feet, lifting pelvis. And then everyone can inhale back onto the fingertips. And then as you exhale, turn the right toes forward again, walk back round, step back to your down dog. Inhale to come forward into your plank or your tabletop. Keep belly drawn in, take another inhale. And as you exhale, crown of the head forward, release all the way down. Inhale to your cobra, soften the shoulders down the back. And exhale, back to your down dog. Inhale to step the left leg forward, drop the right knee. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, release the hands on the inside and make space for the shoulders again, just allowing the foot Left foot to go out to the side, but keep the left knee drawn in. So it's actually touching probably the top of the arm or the shoulder. Take an inhale there. And as you exhale, bending into the elbows and just seeing where you might be able to sink down into that. Breathing into that opening, that release. And remember to keep that left knee drawn in. Squeeze it in. And then inhale to come back onto the fingertips and tuck the toes at the back and walk your way round so you're in between the two legs again. Lovely. So you're pressing away through the outsides of the feet and inhaling to come onto the fingertips. And as you exhale this time, we'll walk the hands over to the right leg and see if we can take hold of the ankle or maybe the back of the ankle with the left hand. And as you inhale, lift and lengthen through the body. And as you exhale, soften in over that leg. You might just pause, or you might do that a couple of times. So it might be like inhale for length, exhaling, drawing in. Inhale, exhale. And then inhaling to lift. Hands back and fingertips walking over to the other side. And then that right hand reaching round to perhaps take hold of the back of the leg. Inhale for length. And exhaling, softening in. Doing that a couple of times or pausing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. And then exhale, walking the hands back, turning the left toes forward, and then stepping that right foot forward. Inhale to your half lift, and then exhaling, folding in over the legs. Bend through the knees, inhale to come all the way up to stand, reach through the fingertips, and as you exhale, bring the hands into the heart space. And just pausing for a moment, perhaps making sure that you've got hip distance between the feet, particularly if you're in the field where it's a bit lumpy and uneven. And just pause there for a moment and feel the body connecting to the earth. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the breath in your lungs. Feel the air around you. Just noticing all that's in this moment. Whatever is there, letting it be there. And then we're going to bring the feet together. Going to move into chair and into twist. So as you inhale, sit the bottom down, reaching the hands up. And as you exhale, draw the belly in. So allow the weight to go back into the heels. Take a big inhale, reach up through the fingertips. And as you exhale, bring the hands to prayer and twist to the right side, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So you're pressing the right hand into the left, seeing perhaps if you can sit down a little bit more and check the knees. You want to try and make the knees level at the front, which would give you a good indication of the level of the hips. And then as you inhale, come back to the center, reaching up through the hands. And as you exhale to the other side, so the elbow coming to the outside, knees still in alignment there, the left hand pressing in to the right. And then as you inhale, come back, reach up through the hands, and then as you exhale, folding forward, lengthening the legs as you come down. Inhale for your half lift, and as you exhale, step back with the left leg, plant the foot onto the mat. We're going to inhale to our warrior one. So reaching up through the fingertips, and then exhale, straighten through that right leg. Inhale to reach up through the hands, and as you exhale and fold forward, we're going to draw that right hip back. And then bring the fingertips onto the mat. And do that kind of little breath movement. So as you inhale, come onto the fingertips. And as you exhale, fold in and see if you can draw the right hip back a little bit more. And again, you might do that a few times, or you might just pause with that. So feel what would be right for you. But if you can, you're pressing that left foot onto the mat, the whole of the foot. So the outside of the foot really connecting to the earth, if that feels possible. So you're kind of staying grounded. And if it feels really tricky, maybe bring the feet in a little bit closer together. So you could bring that left foot in a little if it feels like it won't connect. And then the next time that you inhale, come onto the fingertips. And as you exhale, take the right hand to the belly and turn towards the right. So you're drawing the belly over to the right side. And then as you inhale, come onto the fingertips on that left hand. And then as you exhale, bringing the hand maybe onto the foot or maybe to the outside of the foot. If you have a brick, it can be really helpful to give you a little bit of height. So the right hand is on the belly, drawing you round, and then maybe that right hand comes up to the top. But it could always come onto the lower back to help you to draw that right shoulder back, and the right hip is drawing back. Oh, well done. Take another inhale, and then as you exhale, release. Step that foot back to your down dog. Have a little walk out. Inhale to come forward into your plank. Tabletop if you need to there. Take a big inhale, belly drawn in. Exhale, crown of the head forward all the way down. Inhale, cobra, making sure you're softening down through the shoulders. And then exhaling, traveling back. And then from your down dog, step or maybe hop the feet to the top of the mat. Yeah, lovely. Into your half lift, exhaling, folding in. Make sure the feet are together. Inhale to come to your chair. So sitting the weight down into the heels, take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, fold forward again. Inhale for your half lift, and we'll step back with the right leg, planting that foot onto the mat. You might even move that left foot out to the side a little, so you feel a bit more balanced when you come up perhaps. Inhale to your warrior one, and exhale, straighten that left leg. So you're gently drawing that left hip back. Take a big inhale, reach up through the fingertips, and as you exhale and fold forward, that right hand is kind of reaching forward a little bit more than the left. And then come onto the fingertips. Inhale to lift, and exhale to fold in. Doing that a few times, or just pausing with this and seeing where you can straighten that left leg. Doesn't mean it needs to be straight, just means you're gently opening up the back of the leg. Drawing that left hip back. And then inhaling onto the fingertips. Exhale, bring the left hand to the belly. I find this really useful. I don't know about anyone else, but drawing the belly over to that left side. And then inhale onto the right fingertips. And then exhale, perhaps the right hand coming to the outside of the foot. If you have a brick, use that. And be aware of that right foot. So really plant it down into the earth. Make sure it's really supporting you there. Maybe the left hand comes up. Maybe it comes onto the lower back. Ah, beautiful. This is a tough pose. Well done. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release. Step back to your down dog. Have a little move out. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat into your half lift. Exhaling, folding in. Inhale back to your chair. And exhale to fold all the way through. Inhale, half lift. Step left leg back, plant the foot down. This time we're going to lead with the left hand, come into warrior two. So you're inhaling all the way up, reaching out to the side. So now you're facing the side of your mat, bending into that right leg, opening up through the front of the pelvis. Press down through the left foot. Palms are facing down, shoulders are soft, and you can gaze over the front fingertips. So feeling strong through the arms, through the legs, and through the core as you exhale. Beautiful. Take an inhale there. And as you exhale, turn the right palm up and reach it up to the sky. So stretching through that right side. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, come forward. Bring the forearm onto the knee. At that point, you might find you can bend into the right leg a little bit more. Reach that left hand up, or you could bring it over the head, bicep close to the ear, palm facing down. But if that doesn't feel good for the shoulder, keep it up here, or even bring it to the lower back. Nice deep breaths. Maybe bending into that right leg a little bit more. Take another inhale. As you exhale, we're going to release the hands to the mat, but we're going to turn onto the toes of the left foot and then inhale to a high lunge. If you've got the balance. Yeah. Inhale, reach the hands up. And then exhale, hands to prayer, and you're bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee for that twist. Press the right hand into the left. Perhaps feeling, so left elbow into the right, yeah. And if you need to drop that knee, then please do. Don't feel like you have to stay lifted. Lots of options. Beautiful. And then inhale. And then exhale, release, step back to your down dog. Inhale forward into your plank. Knees down if you need to. Take an inhale. Exhale, crown of the head forward all the way down. Inhale, cobra. And exhaling, traveling back. From your down dog, inhale, step or hop the feet to the top of the mat. Find your half lift. Draw shoulders away from the head. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to your chair, just briefly. And exhale to fold all the way through. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step right leg back, leading with the right hand. Inhale to your warrior two on that side. So set that up. Pelvis is facing the side. Right foot pressing down into the mat. And even have a look over that left leg. So you want the knee over the ankle, allowing that hip to drop. Reach through the fingertips, palms facing down. Breathing there. Take an inhale, turn the left palm up. Exhale, reverse, reaching that left hand, but the knee doesn't bend. It doesn't straighten, I mean. So keep it bent. Take an inhale, reach up through the fingertips. And then as you exhale, come forward, bring the forearm onto the knee and the right hand up. And then you can just keep it reaching up to the sky, or you can bring it over the head, palm facing down. Either way, keep the shoulder soft. And you might feel that you could bend into that left leg a little bit more, but draw back through the right shoulder. So try and keep that right side nice and open. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, release the hands to the earth. Turn onto the toes of the right. Inhale to your high lunge. Yeah, you can always drop that right knee if you need to. And then exhale into your prayer and your twist on that side. So the right elbow is going to the outside of the left leg. You can always bring that knee down if you need to. Lovely. Couple of breaths. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release. Step back to your down dog. Take a big inhale, lift the pelvis. And then as you exhale, bring the knees down and sit back to child's pose. So you could keep the hands reaching forward, or you could bring the hands beside the body. And allow the forehead to come to the earth. Let yourself draw in to the earth a little. And just notice. Notice the sensations in the body. Notice how the breath is. Noticing if there are any thoughts there. Kind of knowing that you have these anchors to the present moment. So often we use the breath because it's here, it's in the present moment. It's always there for us. And then sometimes we use the body. And sometimes the sensations in the body can be very strong. So that can allow our mind perhaps to settle on to just being with the body. But remembering that there's nothing wrong with thinking. When it starts to go a little bit too much, it's when we're getting caught up in those thoughts and we're identifying with those thoughts. We think we are those thoughts. And quite often we just need to open up and widen our perspective to be able to see things as they really are. And that's the idea with this. So when you're ready, take an inhale to come back to your tabletop. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the belly all the way down, coming into Sphinx pose. So forearms onto the mat, elbows roughly under the shoulders, pressing into the tops of the feet so you're engaging the legs a little, and feel that you could like lift the heart forward. The gaze is still soft, the head is soft, chin soft, and even the belly soft. But the legs are engaged, the forearms engaged. Couple of breaths. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, interlace the fingers. Draw the elbows in just a touch. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, tuck the toes. Draw the belly in and lift into a forearm plank. Now you might only be here for a breath or two. Let that be the case. But just maybe kind of explore drawing lower ribs in, drawing pelvic floor up to make that connection. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, release. Come back to your Sphinx. So just release the arms for a moment. Let the tops of the feet press into the earth, legs engage. And we'll do that again, and then we'll start to walk the feet forward. So take an inhale. Interlace the fingers. Draw the belly in. You might want to allow the elbows to come in a little bit more. I find that useful. Tuck the toes, draw belly in, and then lift again. And find that drawing in through the abdomen. And then walking the feet towards you, lifting the pelvis. Try not to allow the elbows to move out to the side. So it's like your down dog, but much harder. Lovely. And just keep lifting the pelvis and walking the feet forward, just to where you feel is possible. Yeah, beautiful. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the knees down, release the arms. You might bring the arms beside the body in your child's pose. That's quite strong into the arms, I find. Let that go. And then as you inhale, come forward. We're going to release the legs, round to the front. Find that little flat bit of the sit bones, or maybe a flat bit on the earth that you feel you can balance. If there's a little hole you can allow yourself to come into. Take the hands to the backs of the thighs and then find that balance point. So moving into Navasana or boat pose, and just maybe toes just a little bit off the mat. And then feel that lengthening through the spine. So there's like a lift up, collarbones lifting up to the sky. Keep that lift and then see maybe if you can lift the toes to knee height, but always know you can go back a stage as well. You can stay here. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, maybe release the hands, but layers, think of this as layers. You might stay here, and you might be there, and then you might straighten the legs. And you might feel that quiver in the belly. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide, and have just a little fold forward. So like a little release. Doesn't need to be a deep forward fold, just a little release. And then we'll inhale, come back to our boat. So maybe hands behind the thighs. Really, the most important bit is getting that length in the spine and the connection into the core. So don't worry where the hands go or where the feet go. Really find this first. Maybe you lift the feet, maybe you release the hands, but actually that doesn't matter. Stay where you need to. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward again. A little release. And then inhale to come back to your boat just one more time. Lifting the heart, lengthening the spine, maybe releasing the hand. Yeah, smile. Take an inhale. And exhale, release. Folding forward one more time. And then rolling up, rolling down onto your back. Soles of the feet onto the mat. We're going to move through bridge. So as you press the tops, not the tops, the soles of the feet into the mat, lift the pelvis, engaging the legs and the thighs. Draw the knees towards one another. And at the top, you might feel that that's about as far as you can go, but see if you can press the feet into the mat a little bit further so the weight comes into the shoulders. And maybe you feel a bit more of a stretch through the front of the body. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, release down. And if you'd like to incorporate the arms at this point as well, you could do that as well. So you're pressing the feet into the mat, lifting the hips, lifting the arms over the head. And as you get to the top, pausing, press the feet into the mat a little bit more. Can more weight go into the shoulders? Can you draw the knees in? And really that's just about engaging thighs. Take another inhale, lift the hips, and as you exhale, bring the hands and the hips all the way back down. And feel that you can move with your breath, so you might only be a breath or two up there and then you come back down on the exhale. So you're inhaling to lift, draw the knees towards one another, thighs towards one another. That's really what we want, is that engagement into the thighs. And at the top, you might see if you can lift a bit higher, stretching through the front of the body, and then as you exhale, all the way back down. And if anyone has wheel in their practice and they feel like they could really do with a wheel, then you're welcome to. Otherwise, just do that maybe one or two more times. Draw knees towards one another, as if you were holding something very precious between the thighs. Yeah. And then the next time that you exhale and come back down, release. Draw the knees into the chest, have a little rock side to side. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, bring the left foot onto the mat, interlace the fingers around the right knee, right shin, draw it slightly out to the side and then in. So a little bit of a squeeze into that right hip. And if you want to lengthen that left leg, you can. Press through the heel if you do, and make sure that's okay for you as well. Take another inhale there. And as you exhale, bring the right foot into the air, interlace the fingers around the thigh, press the thigh into the hands, circle through the right ankle. Make sure you're releasing the neck, the shoulders, no issues there. And then circling the other way. Keep that left foot engaged if it's long. And then take an inhale, press through the right heel, press through both heels. And then draw the belly in and walk the hands up that right leg. Maybe you could get to the ankle or the foot. Stretch across the shoulders. And if that left foot is long, left leg is long, you might feel it's just kind of hovering there. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, walk your way back down. Bending into that left leg if it's not already, and bring the right ankle across the left knee. And then you could either stay there with the left foot on the mat as the right knee draws away slightly, or you could draw the knee into the chest and interlace the fingers around the thigh, finding sensation into the right hip and glute. And if there's not much there, you could try bringing the left leg into the air, seeing how that is, and pausing here, having a bit of time just to feel yourself release into the earth again, release into your body. And maybe coming back to exploring those ideas that you might be holding around your happiness. You know, maybe it's this financial security, or finding your soulmate, the perfect job, or simply getting to the weekend. So are there conditions that we are holding for our happiness? And just try to notice. And then take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the left foot down, but keep the right ankle where it is. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the right knee over to the right. And you might find the knee comes all the way down, but it's more about that stretch along the left side that we're looking for. So make sure you're kind of finding that. You might release the left foot slightly. The right ankle might anchor the left knee down a bit more, depending on what's happening. And you might reach the hands, the arms overhead. But it might depend what's happening in the shoulder and the left side. And then as you inhale, come back to the center. Release that leg, draw the knees in. Take an inhale. Exhale, release the right foot. Interlace the fingers around the knee, the shin. Draw the knee slightly out to the side and then in. Having that little squeeze, but check in with the neck. There's no issues in the neck or the shoulders. And you might lengthen that right leg if you haven't already. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the left foot into the air, interlace the fingers around the thigh, circle through the ankle, pressing the thigh into the hands a little bit. Circling the ankle one way And then circling the ankle the other way. And then take an inhale. And as you exhale, walking the hands up the leg, pressing through both heels, particularly if that right leg is long. You might get to the foot, but that opening across the shoulders. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, walk your way back down. Bend into the right leg, sole of the foot onto the mat, bring the left ankle across the right knee. You might just stay there as you allow that left knee to drop away. Sometimes that's plenty into that left side, left hip, or you might bring the knee into the chest and interlace around the thigh. And that pausing again. So you're interlacing the hands around the right, yeah. If you want to, but otherwise you keep the sole of the foot on the mat. And letting yourself ground again here. Using the breath as your anchor to just be here. And then take another inhale. And as you exhale, release the right foot down. Keep the left ankle where it is. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the left knee over to the left. So you're keeping the left ankle on the right leg, the right knee. As you drop down, you might bring the hands over the head, stretching through that right side. And if it feels nice, you might really kind of use the left ankle, the left foot, to draw the right knee down, depending on how that feels. So if it's a nice stretch, then go further, but if it's not, then back away. And then inhaling, coming back to the center, release the legs, draw the knees in, have a little rock side to side. And then we're going to roll back up to come to sit. So if you have anything to sit on, you can. You can have legs crossed or legs long, or you can sit in hero's pose, sitting back onto the heels if you need to. So find a place that the spine can be fairly long. So we're going to just do some pranayama and some meditation and then settle into our shavasana. So we'll do the alternate nostril breathing. We use the right hand, the right thumb closes off the right nostril, and the right ring finger closes off the left nostril. So the other two fingers can either come into the palm of the hand or they can touch the forehead. So whichever feels most comfortable. And you might have the left palm facing up with thumb and index finger together. So all we're doing is breathing through one nostril and breathing through the other. So I'll count you through, and obviously if you're blocked in any nostril, then just have that visualization of the breath moving through the nostrils. So take an inhale through both nostrils and an exhale through both nostrils. And then closing right, inhale left, close left, exhale right, inhale right, close right, exhale left, inhale left, Close left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left. And feel free to go at your pace. If you want to have your breath a little bit longer, then please do. Inhaling left, exhale right. Continue in that way. And the next time you breathe out through your left nostril, no rush to get there. Just release the hand, breathe through both nostrils. And just pause and notice. Feel yourself connecting to the earth through perhaps the feet, the legs, the pelvis. Feel the shoulders soften, the face soften. And can you hold one of the ideas that you have around your happiness? One of these habits of thinking. Can you hold one of them in your mind's eye? Without thinking too much about which one, just whatever comes. And then we're going to use our exhalation to see if we can begin to let it go into this space, into the earth, and release it from our minds and from our bodies and from our hearts. So you might visualize it moving through the body, through the arms, out through the fingertips. You might feel it moving through the legs and out through the toes. Or you might have another way of visualizing the release and letting go of this. So just explore that for the next minute or so. And if the mind becomes busy, you could just say to yourself, breathing in, I am here, and breathing out, I let go. And then on your next exhalation, just gradually find your way down onto your back with as kind of little movement as possible, really. Just bringing yourself down, staying in that space if you like. You can always stay seated if you prefer. But Shavasana we use to kind of realign the body and let everything fall back into place as it needs to be. But see if you can just stay in that space of releasing and letting go, and perhaps feel that unconditional love of the earth and that willingness to hold whatever you need to release. You have traveled too fast over false ground. Now your soul has come to take you back. Take refuge in your senses. Open up to all the small miracles you rushed through. Become inclined to watch the way of rain when it falls slow and free. Imitate the habit of twilight, taking time to open the well of color that fostered the brightness of day. Draw alongside the silence of stone until its calmness can claim you. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Be excessively gentle with yourself. Slowly finding your breath again. Soft movements in fingers and toes. When you feel ready, draw the knees in. perhaps rolling to one side to just pause for a moment and then coming up. Just to sit with a soft gaze or eyes closed. And bringing the hands to prayer at the heart center. And you might set the intention to just be aware of any thinking habits that you might have around your happiness. And seeing if there are any others that you might be able to release and let go of. So that happiness can be with you no matter what is going on, no matter where you are. So closing with one Om, take a deep breath in. So thank you for your practice. Namaste. Thank you all. Thank you at home.